The co-promoter of Kubrat Pulev, a person called Avilo Gotsev, I'm sure I'm butchering that, has warned Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn that if they attempt to circumvent the Kubrat Pulev mandatory and fight an undisputed bout against Tyson Fury instead, there will be legal ramifications. He said, quote, "The Joshua Fury door will be closed with a lawsuit if they break our deal and our contract. There are some very good attorneys in England and some very fair courts, so it will come down to whether they want to decide whether they want to do that or not. I do believe AJ and his promoter will do the right thing and do as they say and finalize the deal." Through the blood, sweat and tears, Kubrat earned his position to challenge AJ. Will they overrule his rights? Can they overrule all his rights? That's entirely up to them if they want to try that. They should respect the rules of the IBF. There's a signed agreement. We are in the final stages of closing the deal, which we are extremely happy with. We're just adjusting the original contract and it's finally going in the right direction that keeps both sides happy. It's now up to Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn to conclude their part. Our signature will come a lot easier than theirs. To become champion, you must go into the foreign lands and conquer, and that's what Kubrat has decided to do. That's where the win will be the sweetest and the most legitimate. Let's do it in London. We're going for the knockout. Kubrat is a man's man. He has heart, he has skill, talent. He's going to upset the apple cart. The question is AJ a man or is he still a mama's boy? Kubrat is the big underdog. It's like a Rocky story. AJ is a physical specimen. He's like Apollo Creed and we're bringing in Rocky. When he upsets AJ, that's the end of Matchroom's reign, end quote. All right, so the co-promoter for Kubrat Pulev talking tough, as he's supposed to, saying that this is going to be the end of Matchroom's reign. And the other co-promoter, Bob Arum, has been saying similar things. Now, the question I've got for you guys is, what if Anthony Joshua did lose to Kubrat Pulev? Would that be the end of Matchroom's reign? Is Eddie Hearn's business so heavily reliant on Anthony Joshua that without him, the business would sink quickly? I mean, would it end up being on level with Frank Warren or maybe below Frank Warren? Right now, Warren has got Tyson Fury. That's the big feather in his cap. But other than that, who's Frank Warren got anymore? Okay. So even if right now, Eddie Hearn's business is way above Frank Warren's business. And how much influence Frank Warren really has over Tyson Fury is debatable. We don't know. It's been insinuated that Bob Arum has more say than Frank Warren does, insinuated by Eddie Hearn. So if Anthony Joshua was to lose again, let's say lose all his titles, because remember, Kubrat Pulev is a mandatory challenger. So there shouldn't be a rematch clause in this contract. There have been some funny goings on over the past, 5-10 years where you get strange situations like with Tyson Fury when he fought Klitschko, where a mandatory challenger has signed a rematch clause. That's bizarre. Normally, for the vast majority of mandatories, there is no rematch clause. That's one of the privileges of becoming mandatory, is you don't have to adhere to a rematch. So let's just say there isn't a rematch clause and entertain a scenario where Kubrat Pulev wins. What happens to Matchroom after that? Does Eddie Hearn lose heart? Does he put his faith in other heavyweights? Would it be the end of Matchroom's reign? I mean, how reliant are they on Anthony Joshua? Not just financially, but politically within the boxing world. I think that personally, Eddie Hearn's stable is deep enough and his business is robust enough that he will still be a major force, at least in the UK. The situation in America is dicey at the moment because, the current economic catastrophe that we're experiencing has affected so many businesses, including DAZN. And they're not going to be paying out the same kind of money that they were prior to this happening. And so that is going to affect Eddie Hearn's business in the United States. We're already seeing Canelo trying to break free from DAZN. And that's the biggest fighter in boxing. So how many other fighters on DAZN are going to be looking at the situation thinking, you know what? I want to get out of my contract too. I want to go elsewhere. If there are opportunities on ESPN, with PBC, whoever, I want to go there. And I've been very consistent on my channel, and I will continue to be consistent in saying that fighters should go wherever, they should go to whatever promoter or whatever broadcaster serves their best interests. I do not believe in fighters staying loyal to promoters and networks. That doesn't make any sense. The network is not loyal to the fighter. Once that fighter stops selling, tickets, and once they're no longer a draw, they won't be even aired on that network anymore. The promoter will drop them. That's the reality of the situation in the majority of cases. So why then should the fighter feel loyal to a network or a promoter who's not going to be loyal to him when he's no longer of any monetary value? You see? So the fighter should look at the promoter the same way the promoter looks at him and the same way the network looks at him. What can you do for me financially? If you're not doing for me financially what another network and another promoter can do, then I'm out of here. That's the attitude that fighters should have, in my opinion. And maybe there are going to be more people that are going to jump ship from DAZN if other networks and promoters have got better opportunities. Maybe their model at the moment is more robust to navigate these rough seas. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's just a question for you guys. What do you think would happen to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, both in the UK and overseas, if Anthony Joshua was to lose to Kubrat Pulev? Would it be a game changer? Would we see Eddie Hearn maybe gradually decline and Matchroom gradually decline, and then Eddie Hearn bail out of boxing the way his dad did a few decades ago? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because according to Frank Warren, he's been saying in recent interviews that Eddie Hearn's contract with Sky is up in a few months. So, maybe that's one of the reasons, apart from the fact that they're trying to get this AJ Pulev fight in an arena so they can sell some tickets. And I'm sure those tickets will be very expensive, by the way, because they're used to packing out stadiums with AJ. And when they pack out stadiums, they can sell the tickets for reasonable prices. But putting AJ back in an arena, let's say it's the O2, they're going to have to hike up those ticket prices. We'll see how greedy AJ and Matchroom are, but I'm pretty sure they're going to hike up those ticket prices if it's in the O2. And like I say, the situation with Sky, the broadcaster, that could be a factor in why this fight hasn't been formally announced yet, as well as the situation with fans being allowed into arenas, So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We can only speculate, but it's fun to do so. So yeah, let me know, people. It's happening. I'm out.